here for the first time, my name is Cassie. I am on the teacher experience team. It's also like a team in a community group, and I am usually working on 6-Apple. So if you have any suggestions, feedback about Chinese class or 6-Apple, just let me know. Two minor updates. One I have posted last week was on MasterCard. Totally awesome. If you take a look, it's dinos on the bank card. I really love it. I am very jealous. I wish we can give employee this, but we don't have this perk. So definitely check it out. There's cool designs and awesome perks that comes with the card. And the next week, we're gonna have a lucky draw on Busu. So Busu is an app that you can use to learn language. So if you like Chinese class and want to have an opportunity to learn it for free, definitely check the lucky draw out. And I will send out communication next week through announcement, so keep an eye out for that. And like I said, I'm gonna have 10 minutes of a culture session. Today we will talk about mooncakes and making mooncakes, and then teacher Zhao will talk about the Chinese language, sentences, phrases related to Mid-Autumn Festival. And then if we have time, we will have a QA session. So mooncakes around China, there are different mooncakes all around China. And if you take a look at this map, you will be able to see they have different shapes, different taste, and different looks. So in the north of China, where I am at in Beijing, most of the mooncakes are sweet. And then the ones that are in southern China are more savory. And when you go even more south, go to Hong Kong or people that speak Cantonese, then they are sweet and creamy types of mooncakes. So in northern China, popular fillings include the red bean paste, which you can easily obtain from any Chinese supermarket, or you can make it at home. It's really easy. Or mixed nut mooncakes, jam mooncakes, or lotus seeds and salty duck egg yolk. If you look at this picture, so this is like a traditional red bean paste mooncake. This is a mixed nuts mooncake. This is the salty duck yolk and lotus seed mooncake, and this is the jam ones. It comes in all types of fruit taste. Popular ones include like honeydew or strawberry or orange, and these years are durian tasted ones. I personally am not a fan of durian, but apparently there's a market for that. When we go to southern China, the popular filling include pork, ham, pepper, and salt mooncake. So if you look at this picture, this is actually the ham mooncake from Yunnan. So Yunnan in China is like where California is in the US. And it's like southwest part of the country. And ham, they have the best ham all over China. So this is like their specialty. They are really good, but they are really high in calories. So you need to run a 10-kilometer after eating one just to be healthy. And if you go more south, go to Guangzhou, like Guangdong province or Hong Kong, they have a lava egg custard mooncake, which is creamy and sweet. And it's actually invented like 30, 40 years ago by Peninsula Hong Kong. That's a very fancy hotel. And one of the chefs invented it and people just went crazy and loved it. And then there's the ice skin mooncake. So if you take a look at this, this is the ice skin mooncake. It makes sense because it's, ice skinned as opposed to brown skinned in this mooncake. So it's very different. And now with new inventions, people wanting to be creative, there are different shapes for mooncakes. You can see in this one, this looks like Peppa Pig. This is like a crab shaped ones, but most of them are still use like traditional fillings. And here, of course, with Disney in Shanghai, they are selling mooncakes as well. And this is a Starbucks mooncake. Of course, they have a coffee flavored mooncake. And I was being inquisitive. I wanted to test out different recipes. So if you want to make your mooncake, I am here to be your lab mice, and I tested this out. So this is a mooncake. So this is my hand, actually. I was making mooncake, just testing out different recipes. So to make the dough, you need 75 grams of honey or maple syrup, both would work, 25 grams of vegetable oil, water, lime juice, baking soda, and water. When you mix them well, you sift the flour and add it to there, 300 grams of sugar, add them all together, you will have a dough. When the dough is just so soft and nice, you knead the dough and put it in the plastic wrap and rest it in the fridge for 1 to 2 hours. While that is being prepared, you can go ahead and make the filling. So traditionally, like I said earlier, red bean paste filling is very popular. You can just buy the paste from the Chinese supermarket. It's relatively easy. But if you want to make your own, because it's usually healthier and less sugar added, you can just clean your red bean and have them sit through the night and boil them until it's soft. To put them in a blender with some water and beat it until it's pasty. Add sugar to your taste. Some people prefer them to be really sweet, some less so. It depends on your personal preference. And then you can take it out and make it into like a small balls. Usually the balls should be the same size as once you have a dough ready, 1-to-1 ratio. For non-traditional ones, this is actually the one I made. It was the chocolate walnut tasted. So I melt chocolate drops as butter in a double boiler and added walnut crumbs. And then I put it into fridge to sit, because when it's really runny, you can't really make the filling really correctly because it will just leak everywhere. So have it sit for a little bit until it's solid, and then you make them into chocolate balls. And here, once you have the ball ready, you take the dough out, cut them into smaller pieces and roll them into smaller balls. Divide the filling into smaller pieces and roll them into balls. And you kind of just wrap it and slowly roll it like this. And eventually you will have like a nice closed ball. You just roll it a little bit and add it to a mold, which I have right here. So you add it into here. You just press and you will actually have a mooncake like this. So this is my hand. This is the mooncake I made. Press and push the plunger and make it into the mooncake. And then you put it in the oven. You bake it for a little bit, take it out, brush some egg white on it, and then put it in and bake it again for another 15 minutes. And once that is ready, take it out, put it in a plastic wrap and let it sit for 1 or 2 days, because that's what gives the skin or the wrapping of the mooncake that oily, sweet, but not too oily, too sweet taste. So there you go. That's how to make mooncakes. And I'm sure it's kind of hard to get like this exact mode. So this might need to be adjusted in how much ingredient you put in, based on the kind of mold you can get. But that's the general idea. And there are also many recipes online. So you're welcome to take a look. And maybe you can make your own mooncake this year, since I know it's expensive to buy mooncakes in the US and Canada. And thank you. Now, teacher.
I love your mooncakes, Cassie. I want to have a try. They look really nice. I haven't tried making by my own, but I usually just buy them from supermarket.
Oh yeah, I destroyed my kitchen trying to make it. When I tried to make the first one was actually the chocolate, the walnut one. I was in such a rush that I can't wait for the filling to solidify. So I just scoop it in there. Like, it's like a dumpling. Why not give it a try? And when I tried to press this, it would everywhere. So that's why I was like, say, wait until it solidify, make it into a solid ball. That's how you wrap it. And so don't make a mess like I did. But yeah, it was
fun. Still a nice try. Thank you, Cassie. Okay, now I'm going to share my screen, and 1 second. Okay, great. Cassie, can you see my screen? Perfect. So hi, teachers. Nice to see you again. Welcome back to Lingo Bus. And last week, we talked about Teachers' Day, and there were many interesting conversations going on in Q&A session. Cassie and I enjoyed it very much. So today, I hope you can you could have a great time again. If you are not here for our previous Chinese class, please let me introduce myself first. My name is Yi, and I am a Lingo Bus Chinese teacher. I have been with Lingo Bus for more than 2 years. And I love teaching, especially online teaching. And whenever I am free, I love cooking Chinese food. That's about me. So today we're going to talk about one of Chinese traditional festivals. Before we get started, I would like to know how many Chinese festivals you have heard about. You can type out the names in the chat box. Yes, the Dragon Boat Festival. Yes, Dragon Boat Festival. We had a presentation like in June-ish. Yes, the Qingming Festival, the tomb sweeping. And the most important one, the Spring Festival. Yes, the Chinese New Year. That's my favorite one. And also National Day. Yes. Thank you, teachers, for your answers. So the one we're going to talk about is very special because it is approaching soon. And it's Mid-Autumn Festival. In Chinese is 中秋节. So 中, the first Chinese character stands for middle. 中, 秋 is the season of autumn. 秋 and 节, stands for festival or day. So it's 中秋节, Mid-Autumn Festival. The Mid-Autumn Festival is held on the 15th day of the 8th lunar month in solar calendar. And you might be wondering why it is called Mid-Autumn Festival, 中秋节. That is because the August is the middle month in autumn, while the 15th day is also right in the middle of this month. So it is called 中秋节, Mid-Autumn Festival. And this year in 2020, the Mid-Autumn Festival falls on October 1st, which is also our National Day. So fortunately, we are able to celebrate these two important festivals together. And totally together, it makes up an 8 days holiday. So we are all very excited about it. So 8 days holiday, the second longest one in a year. And now we know the Mid-Autumn Festival is held on the 15th day of August. I would love to show you a picture on that night. So by looking at this beautiful picture, is there anything special you have noticed from this picture? Yes, so on the night of Mid-Autumn Festival, we can see a full moon that shines the brightest on the sky. And Chinese people believe that the full moon represents for family reunion. So on the night of Mid-Autumn Festival, we will go back home and enjoy some family times with our loved ones. And also we will have a family dinner together. Also, the autumn is the season of harvest. So it's also a good time for us to celebrate harvest and our hard work, just like Thanksgiving dinner. And yeah, that's how we celebrate Mid-Autumn Festival. And next, since the moon plays a very important role in Mid-Autumn Festival, let's look at this Chinese character together. We have talked about before that many Chinese characters are derived from pictures. They are pictographs. And we have learned the 人, that means people. It looks like a man who is walking. And for Dragon Boat Festival, we learned this character called Zhou. And by looking at this picture, do you remember, or you can have a guess what this character means? Like two men are rowing the boat. Yes, Zhou means boat, and it looks just like its picture. The same as Yue, the moon, is also a pictograph, and it is derived from this crescent moon. And gradually it became the middle one. So this character was used a long time ago in ancient China. And nowadays, the character we use for moon looks like this in red one. And now we can try writing it together. So this Chinese character only has 4 strokes. So it's comparably easier than other Chinese characters. So we start from the left. So here is the first stroke. 1. Sorry, let me grab my pencil. So we start from the left one. So it's 1, 2, 3, and the last one, 4. So this is how we wrote this Chinese character, 月. And it is a commonly used word in Chinese girls' name. So maybe one of your VIP kid students' name had this word 月 in it. And speaking of 月, there was a beautiful legend behind it. So as you can see on this picture, there was a girl who is flying to the moon, and her name is Chang'e. Chang'e is Chinese goddess of the moon. You might be wondering, how did she become the moon goddess? And the story goes like this. Long time ago, there was 10 suns in the sky, and the suns burned all the plants on earth, and people were dying. Until one day, this man, he was an excellent archer. So he used his bow and arrows to shoot 9 of the 10 suns. Thus, the earth was saved, and he was also well respected and honored by people as a hero. He was the husband of Chang'e, our moon goddess. And at that time, the queen of heaven was moved by what Hou Yi, his name is Hou Yi, by what Hou Yi did to save the earth. So she gave Hou Yi a bottle of elixir, which could make one person to be immortal. Hou Yi did want to be immortal, but he wanted to stay with his beautiful wife Chang'e together more. So he just kept that elixir at home. One day, Hou Yi was out for hunting, so Chang'e was alone at home. One of Hou Yi's students, called Peng Meng, he wanted to steal the elixir and to be immortal by himself. So he came to Hou Yi's home, and he threatened Chang'e to give him the elixir. Faced with this greedy man, Chang'e had no better choice rather than swallowing all the elixir by herself. As soon as Chang'e took it, she flew from her house to the heaven, and finally she landed on the moon. When Hou Yi came back home, it was already too late. So after that, Hou Yi worshipped the moon and prayed for Chang'e year after year. Although it was a sad story, but fortunately, Chang'e was not alone on the moon. So now you can have a guess. Which of the following animal was a good companion to Chang'e? We have elephant, chicken, lion, and rabbit. Who was it? Who was a good companion to Chang'e? You can type out the number in the chat box. Sarah says lion, or Kristen thinks a rabbit. Rabbit. A lion. Good guess. Here comes the answer. So that animal is a little rabbit. As you can see on this picture, Chang'e and her rabbit, jade rabbit called Yu Tu, they were living on the moon together. Actually, in ancient time, people didn't know what were on the moon. So with their imagination, they made up those beautiful legends, which were passed down generation after generation. And nowadays, we would love to bring the history and our modern technologies together. So Chinese Lunar Exploration Program, also known as the Chang'e Project, was named after Chang'e and her rabbit. So this picture shows China's Chang'e 4 lander, which was launched in 2018. And it also delivered the robotic rover Yu Tu to the lunar surface. So, you can find the name Chang'e and Yu Tu. So they are symbols for the moon in Chinese, for Chinese people. We do love how they name these spacecrafts, as it seems that we combines the history and our modern technologies together. And now you might be wondering, what do people eat during Mid-Autumn Festival? And Cassie has talked about it. And yeah, we do have some options here. We have sticky rice dumplings, mooncake, and dumplings. So if you were here for our Dragon Boat Festival presentation, you might know what do people like to eat for a Dragon Boat Festival. Yes, we eat sticky rice dumplings, that is 粽子, during Dragon Boat Festival. And Cassie has told us that we love to have mooncakes for Mid-Autumn Festival. And for dumplings, we usually have it for Spring Festival, for Chinese New Year, right? And for and Cassie has showed us like there are many different kinds of fillings, like the lotus paste with salted egg yolk and red beans, and as well as fruit, nuts, and seeds. So no matter how many like fillings it has, the shape of the mooncake stay round. Also, you see the mold that Cassie has showed us is round, because the round represents for family reunion. It's just like a full moon. So the 月饼, the moon cake, its shape is round. The Chinese name of moon cake is 月饼, 月饼, and 月 stands for moon, 月饼. So besides the food, also mooncakes, we would love to send it as a gift during Mid-Autumn Festival. We give the mooncakes to our friends, our colleagues, or our family members, just as our good wishes to them. And besides mooncakes, we will also have some fruits like apples, oranges, like kiwi or watermelon. So is the autumn is the festival of harvest. So is there any similarity you can notice between mooncake and those fruits? Is there any similarity by looking at their shape? Yes, set around. Great. So as I have said that the round for Chinese people that represents for family reunion, that's 家人团圆. So reunion in Chinese is 团圆, 团圆. So by having those round shaped food, it's a good representation for family reunion and like for family happiness or prosperity. So that's what we usually have for Mid-Autumn Festival. And there are some other customers of Mid-Autumn Festival. The top one is appreciating the full moon. So after we have family dinner together, when we usually appreciate the full moon together on the balcony or in the park, or some people go to the lakeside or even the mountaintop to appreciate the full moon on that night. This one appreciates the festival lanterns. So making those colorful lanterns is one of favorite activities among children. They love to draw and color the lanterns or hang it up in trees or in their houses. The lanterns can be in different shapes and it can resemble like animals, plants, or flowers. They are very beautiful. And in public parks, they will also hang up those colorful lanterns on that night, which provide a very beautiful night view. And there was one kind of special lantern called 孔明 lantern. It can fly to the sky because the burning candle inside the lantern can heat up the air, so which can make it fly up to the sky. And then we love to write down our best wishes outside the lantern and let it fly up to the sky. And that's what I love to do on that night. I'll like get a 孔明 lantern and write down my best wishes and heat up let the candle inside, the burning candle inside to help the lantern fly onto the sky. And also the Asian people enjoyed appreciating the full moon too. And some famous poets have wrote down some poems about the moon and also their feelings of homesickness. And we're going to look at some of them and read some poems together. This poem is by Zhang Jiuling. He was a chancellor of Tang Dynasty, but after being slandered by the officials, he was exiled from his country. So on one night in his exile, he was looking at the moon and wrote down this poem. It says, 海上生明月，天涯共此时。海上 means over the sea, and the 生 means arise, and 明月 is moon, the brightest moon. 天涯 means we are far from each other, the long distance. And 共此时 means we share this moment together. So this sentence means as the bright moon shines over the sea, from far away, you share this moment with me together. This one is a very famous one. And this one is also very famous, and it's by Su Shi. He was a greatest poet of Song dynasty, and he had a brother, but they were living and working in different places. Like they were far from each other. So Su Shi always missed his brother, and on one night of Mid-Autumn Festival, he was looking at the full moon and he missed his brother, and he thought of his family members. He wished he could be together with his family members. So he wrote down this poem. 但愿人长久，千里共婵娟. That means may we all live long and be able to share the beauty of the moon, no matter how far away, how far we're apart from each other. And here, 婵娟means appreciate the moon together. So those two are very famous poems for Mid-Autumn Festival. And the next, if you want to give your best wish to your Chinese friends, what you can say? We can say Happy Mid-Autumn Festival. In Chinese is 中秋节快乐. So, you know, 中秋节 stands for Mid-Autumn Festival, and we put happy 快乐 after the festival. So together is 中秋节快乐. You can have a try. 中秋节快乐. So this year, 中秋节 falls on October 1st, and you can say 中秋节快乐 to your students. 中秋节快乐. So today we have talked about the customs and the food we usually have for Mid-Autumn Festival, and we also talked about a beautiful legend behind the Mid-Autumn Festival. So now if you have any questions for this beautiful festival, you can type it out in the chat box. Cassie and I will try our best to answer your questions.
Thank you.